Yeah.
Just chop them up, throw them in the freezer.
Yes. Hey, good evening, everybody. I'll bring this public hearing to order regarding zoning amendment bylaw number 1194, 2023, Tuesday, July the 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. I call this public hearing Tuesday, July the 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. to order.
Excuse me, Your Worship.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you declare the land acknowledgement.
Who?
The land acknowledgement?
Who is this? Oh, yes, I'm coming to that.
Okay,
Yes.
I apologize.
Coming to that. Thank you. I call this public hearing Tuesday, July the 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. to order and acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of Stahelis. This public hearing is being convened in accordance with the Local Government Act in order to hear public comments on the Village of Harrison Hot Springs zoning amendment bylaw number 1194, 2023. The site that is the subject of this bylaw has a civic address at 259 Hot Springs Road. In accordance with the legislation and the village is public notice bylaw number 1200, 2024, the time, place, and details of this public hearing and the proposed bylaw were advertised on July the 9th, 2024 via direct mail out and on the village's website and public notice posting boards. An information package on the proposed bylaw has been available on the village's website and at the village office since that time. All persons who believe that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw must be afforded a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters contained in the bylaw that is the subject of this hearing. Therefore, any person attending who believes their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw may be heard on the matters contained in the bylaw. Please restrict your remarks to matters of direct consequence to the proposed bylaw. This hearing is not a forum in which elected officials debate amongst themselves or with proponents or opponents. Council may ask questions for clarification of a speaker's point. Public hearings are subject to the rules of natural justice and procedural fairness. Therefore, to ensure the applicant is given a fair hearing, I must ask council members present to confirm that they are entering this hearing with an open mind, amenable to persuasion. After this public hearing is concluded, the council may, without further notice, give whatever effect they believe appropriate to the representations made at this hearing. The bylaw will be presented to council for further consideration at the next appropriate council meeting. The planning consultant will now introduce zoning bylaw number 1194, 2023 as a second reading time at the regular council meeting of June the 17th, 2024. Mr. Cossey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Whereas the mayor and council has deemed it advisable to amend the Village of Harrison Hot Springs zoning bylaw number 1115, 2017, the zoning bylaw for the Village of Harrison Hot Springs as adopted May 7th, 2018. Now therefore an open meeting assembled, the mayor and council of the Village of Harrison Hot Springs enact as follows. This bylaw may be cited for all purposes as the Village of Harrison Hot Springs zoning amendment bylaw number 1194, 2023. That under the C1 zone development regulations for the commercial uses, the following number 11 is inserted in the notes section. For the land located at 259 Hot Springs Road, legally described as Lot A, Block 2, Section 13, Township 4, Range 29, west of the 6th Meridian, New Westminster District, Plan 251, parcel identification number 002-223-457. The maximum allowable floor area ratio must not exceed 1.8. The lot coverage must not exceed 89.39%, and the maximum height must not exceed 17.61 meters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cossie. The developer is now invited to make a presentation regarding the zoning amendment bylaw.
I'm just gonna go first,
Mrs. Pettick, please, thank you.
because I have different things that I can offer other than the architect. We noted that John Allen raised a concern in Harrison News and Views regarding highway setbacks. And we'd like to assure John Allen and the town that being one of the criteria in the process for approval was to send drawings to the Department of Highways for inspection, thus allowing them to register any concerns they may have with the proposal. It's been close to a year that the Department of Highways has possessed the drawings. The Department of Highways did not indicate there were any concerns with either setbacks or corner cuts. All is in accordance with BC building code requirements. Now, everything about the present design complies with the BC building code and Harrison town bylaws, with the exception of the parkade having been raised out of the ground 6 feet, thus creating a parkade roof, which we hope to incorporate into a useful outdoor central plaza. And we basically have yeah, it's just only around that. So basically, we've got housing. They're basically going to be houses, and they're going to be around the perimeter. I go right away. Okay. So the central plaza right here, we had to raise the parkade, the 6 feet, and we decided, well, we might as well do something with that flat roof, and so we decided, well, we're just going to raise the ground and create a park in there for use of the tenants. So the only difference is that instead of on ground level, it's going to be 6 feet up, and this allows. Okay. Has everybody seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. When we were designing the building in its initial conceptual stages, engineers strongly recommended against an underground parkade due to proximity to river and lake. Eventually, water seepage, we were told, or flooding would occur and would weaken concrete walls, floors, and incur costly repairs. In an underground parking garage would also mean that all the first floor balconies would be sitting directly on sidewalk level on Lillooet and on Hot Springs Road. So you would be basically looking over the rails into people's houses directly, all the traffic that goes along Hot Springs Road and Lillooet. This would pose a security risk to the residents, as well as eliminate all privacy due to heavy pedestrian traffic in the summertime. We therefore decided to compromise. We went 3 feet into the ground, which raised our balcony 6 feet off the ground. This we determined was an acceptable compromise. Pedestrians along Hot Springs Road can no longer look into people's patio doors or jump over deck rails, steal stored items, or break into homes through partially open patio doors. Due to the parking garage no longer being underground, we decided to give it a flat roof, thus protect cars from the elements and keep the parkade clean and warm. Now we had elevated the parking out of the ground, we put a flat roof on it and decided it could be useful as a park plaza for residents. So basically it's somewhere you could walk across from one end of the condo to another. We could save money not putting a roof on the parkade garage, but then why? I mean, who would benefit from that? Cars would sit exposed to the rain and snow. The parking garage would be cold, it would be more difficult to maintain, and anyone coming out of their home would be looking down to see cars over the rail instead of a lovely green area. So we therefore covered the roof of the garage, thus creating a central plaza for residents' use. In effect, we raised the ground level to 6 feet higher. The covered roof could now act as a walkout for an amenity building, which we're now able to provide. If we remove the roof off the parking garage, we would satisfy bylaws, but what's the point when the rooftop plaza will affect no one but the condo residents? This central atrium won't be seen from the street. Raising ground level 1 story up will inconvenience no one. Removing a garage roof walkout will only withhold an otherwise useful park plaza amenity for 76 homeowners and guests. Without a roof, the huge central area becomes an unsightly, unusable parking lot. There's no sense to removing the roof off of the garage other than complying to the manner which bylaws are being interpreted. Removing the roof to the parkade would only deny residents a useful plaza, a shortcut to the main entrance, a place to hang out and enjoy the planters with flowers and greenery. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mrs. Bassett.
Mr. Chair,
Levin?
if I may.
Yes, certainly.
Just for clarification purposes, there seems to be some confusion about the process. The referral process to the Ministry of Transportation and to all the other agencies, the public hearing, the public notification minutes. Once all of those things have been completed, which includes tonight's meeting, all of that information will be going to in a report and will be going to council for their consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Cossey. The village has received 5 written submissions. If the public wishes to see it, we have a booklet here with those in there. Now I would like to invite the public to speak and present comments. In the interest of hearing all persons within a reasonable time frame, each person shall have 5 minutes. Further opportunity will be afforded for persons to speak a second or third time once all persons have had an opportunity to speak. The chair has the authority to stop any speaker who is not commenting on the facts pertinent to this bylaw. Members of the public who are attending in person who wish to speak, please state your name, address, and proceed with your comments. Now we will have comments from the floor, please.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, point of order. I believe the proper process is for the written comments to be read aloud at this time. So that we,
They don't have to, Councillor Allen, as long as they're available for the public to view. That's why it's in that
Well-
booklet, and they've had the opportunity to come to the office and view them as well.
well, they weren't provided to me.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here as a councillor.
Well,
I'd like them to be read into the record. I think
you
that's
have them in
the-
front of you, please read them. I'm gonna have public now come forward to speak. Any members of the public who wishes to
You want
speak?
me to read them aloud?
No, thank you. I've already answered your point of order. It's not necessary to be read out, providing that the council has allowed this to be in the booklet for the public to view, or they had the opportunity to come into the office and view them either on the website, at the front desk here. Thank
I'd
you.
just like to say, I think that's disrespectful of the people who've
Thank
taken the
you.
time to write,
Yeah, thank you, sir.
that you ignore them.
Excuse me, sir. I've now asked for the public to come forward. This is a public hearing. It's not here for a debate. Thank you.
Why don't you go?
Members of the public who are attending in person who wish to speak, please state your name and address and proceed with your comments. Are there any comments from the floor? Please come forward. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Susan Galveo, 259 Miami River Drive in Harrison here. Deputy Mayor, Council, staff, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity tonight to speak regarding this amendment to the zoning bylaw at the property located at 259 Hot Springs Road. I am in opposition of this amendment for several reasons. I feel this is a very unique village. Sometimes it seems to be forgotten. Our village has this incredible Harrison Lake as its feature, and 2 beautiful majestic mountains on either side that create this framework for us. In my opinion, it rivals most places in the world. This, however, also places our village in a delicate geographical position where sprawl and poor planning decisions can prove detrimental to the healthy development and growth. The zoning amendments being proposed do not do justice to the potential in this village. I took the time and reviewed all of the information on the village website regarding proposed plans, the requests, the recommendations before I come to you now with my decision of opposition. Frankly, I found the whole proposal a bit disappointing. It lacks both vision and respect for the future of the village. The design itself is what I would describe as modern cookie cutter to the core. There was a comment of the design on page 91, which said the design would be made to complement the settler hub. But these design ideas, in my opinion, could not be further apart. The footprint goes against anything I would qualify as a smart development, and it will not be an improvement or create a cohesive village aesthetic. The request for an amendment to the FAR from 1.5 to 1.8 lot coverage to a whopping 89.39% and also a height increase from 15 meters to 17.61 meters only adds further insult to injury. It lacks any substantial climate mitigating effects. It essentially creates the opposite for anyone other than maybe the occupants that can utilize a mainly hardscaped courtyard area. This is the gateway to the tourist area and a very important part of pedestrian traffic. And I fear the design will be very detrimental to the local tourism industry and to residential enjoyment alike. We really need to move forward with a real smart growth and development when we do move forward with these plans. And I'm confident that these concepts can go hand in hand. So I urge council to vote against these amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, we don't. For the first time, anybody else on the floor wish to ask a question before I go to Zoom? No, I'll go to Zoom. Anybody on Zoom?
Yeah, we got Devin with his hand up. Devin, you should be able to unmute yourself now. Should be good.
Evan, if you should be able to unmute yourself if you're there on Zoom.
If you can't get him, he's my partner and he sent me his statement to read if you can't. access
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, thanks.
I can see his mic, but it doesn't look like it's working
He's probably super frustrated by that.
right. It's all good.
There'll be another opportunity.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else on Zoom?
No.
No? Okay. Would you like to come forward and make?
I would if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time and energy and dedication to our beautiful village. My name is Sarah Dawn Pledge. I am a resident of 248 Cedar Ave and have been for the past 4 years. We run a business out of it, an Airbnb business to support the tourism of our village. And I am also opposed to this bylaw amendment. Over the past 4 years, I've watched this village be developed considerably without any sort of meaningful effort or dedication towards the infrastructure necessary to support its residents. We don't have a medical center or an emergent care center that supports the people here. We still only have one road in and out. Adding this kind of density, I don't think is beneficial right now to all of the community strategies we have in place. I don't think it would be good for our business based in tourism of this village to have construction ongoing directly across the street from us for a very long time. I'm going to read this statement so I don't run out of time from my partner, Evan Wilcox, who's also my business partner in this venture. I'm opposed to the bylaw amendment for the property on 259 Hot Springs Road. I feel that increasing the allowed height from 15 to 17.6 meters makes the building too tall and will cause the main village to be shaded more than it should be. This will specifically affect the area around the Husky, Harrison Hamburgers, and the community pool. It will also rob lot 272 in the east portion of Cedar Avenue of sunlight during the evenings, which we quite enjoy. Harrison is a summer tourist destination and people visit here because they enjoy the sunny village atmosphere. The trees and wildfire. They are looking to escape the city atmosphere and not be surrounded by large towers. I also feel that increasing the lot coverage from 75 to 89% further increases that shade issue, as the building that will be that much closer to the road's edge, taking away green space and created shaded sidewalks. This lot is also home to many large and established hedges and trees, which are home for many birds and critters, and they should not be removed. My hope for Harrison is to develop this lot in a way that benefits the entire village and not just the developer. The setbacks and the height restrictions were set for a good reason, and exceptions should not be made, as I see no good reason for it at this time. Thank you for your consideration on this matter, Evan Wilcox, who also resides at 248 Cedar Ave. So when I read through everything, I just came up with a few questions I'd like to leave with you. How does this application benefit the community as a whole? How does it align with the strategic priorities of the village? Sustainable and organizational development, environmental protection, public safety, and health livable community. What sort of meaningful infrastructure will be implemented to support it? What happens to the existing residents? Will there be any affordable housing offered? With 90% of the property proposed to be used, how does that allow the protection of the existing trees, which we also have a bylaw for, protecting all the trees in the village, and provide the proper sightline allowances for both intersections on the west side? What protections will be put in place as someone who has a well across the street to ensure there is no environmental impact or groundwater contamination? Has there been any environmental study done in this arena? Is it prudent to be adding more density when we don't have full occupancy as it is and lack the necessary resources to support it? It's beautiful to drive into this village. I love coming down the main street. I love seeing the established things that are there. There's a heritage plaque on that I walk by every day that I love. I think building this community in a way that benefits the entire community instead of just lining them in developers' pockets is in everybody's best interest. I thank you for your time and the energy you continue to give to our village.
Thank you very much. For the first time, are there anybody else who wishes to make a comment? Yes.
Yeah. I just need to correct an error. Everybody seems to mention the height. The height is a non-issue. The height was an error on behalf of the draftsperson who did a miscalculation. He wasn't aware of the parameters. When it was really inspected, it was determined that the height meets all the requirements of the building code. We are not 2 meters higher than, we are completely in line with every other, condominium that's being built.
I would like to comment.
Okay, you comment, okay.
Yes, the building code, the zoning bylaw does say for C1, the height limit is 15 meters. That is in there. However, there's another clause that I will read for you that says directly from the zoning bylaw. It says, despite the above, the minimum building height can be extended for the following, provided that the point 3.7 point J it can be extended to 18.0 meters if you have either a communication tower or antennas. We do not have a communication tower or antennas. Spires, belfries, or domes. We do not have one of those. Chimneys, maybe there will be a chimney. Flagpoles, there may be a flagpole. But the thing, then the next point is this, elevators, shafts, and stairs going up to the roof. Now, that's this, we will have a stair going up to the roof. We have elevator shafts, they need machine rooms. So basically, according to this bylaw, this point on 3 point, I'm gonna take my glasses with me down. 3.7 point D, we do meet the criteria exactly 18 meters. So any talk about it's not meeting the building height is in error.
Thank you, Mr. Bassick. As Mr. Costa already pointed out, this will be coming to councillors' overall package after the public
Yeah,
hearing.
but I mean, it was stated in the handbook, everything states, and we asked that it be deleted from our application. We do meet the height requirement. And there seems to be now the question of do they or don't they? When I've got a piece of paper here that said we do.
Thank you, sir. Now, for the second time, is there anybody who wishes to make a comment? On the floor. Anybody from the floor, anybody on Zoom?
Are we allowed to ask the developer questions?
Only a clarification question.
No one on Zoom.
Yeah.
And nobody on Zoom? A clarification question, Mr. Allen. Councillor Allen, sorry.
Yes. I'd like to ask Mrs. Baziak, just give me a second. In this folder, the public folder, which I just actually got a couple of days ago, I noticed that there was a referral response from the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure. And that federal response, which is on tab 13, actually says, it's from a lady called Samantha Purcell, dated January the 8th. And she says, I've reviewed the referral letter on conceptual design and have the following comments. The conceptual design does not show setbacks from the road right-of-way. For Hot Springs Road and Lillooet Avenue, the ministry requires a 4.5 meter setback from the property line for all structures. Were you aware of this response from?
We didn't
We
receive
did
it.
not receive anything like that from anybody.
No.
The first time I hear about.
Well, the first time I heard about it was when I read the public information package in this
This is
office.
the first time
But
we heard
I
it.
have never seen it.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know that this is what the Ministry of Highways has responded. They've
We'll
said,
deal with it.
We'll deal with it.
Yeah.
they have said you must set your building back by 4.5 meters. And the rest of that regulation calls for corner sightline triangles in the corners as part of that same regulation.
We do have those triangles in the corners.
Yeah.
Here is a bylaw, zoning bylaw, how the site triangle should be done. We've done exactly what is here.
Well, I wasn't raising that, I was just pointing out that the Ministry of Transportation Highways
Yeah.
needs the building to be back 15 feet or whatever it is.
Okay, we'd like
Plus,
a copy of
And the
that,
corner,
so we could address it.
the corner sight lines are almost a duplication of the village's bylaw requirements for that.
Yeah,
But
we
it is a
will,
provincial requirement.
provide us with a copy of that.
Okay, thank you, Sue.
It's here in the folder. I'm
You're
surprised
looking,
that-
you'll be looking into that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Any further questions for a second time from the public? There's nobody on Zoom, I don't think, no? And for the third and final time, any questions from the floor first? On this application, being none, anybody on Zoom?
No other questions, Your Worship.
When will this decision be made?
Motion to adjourn.
Sorry, it's just second.
Forgive me, I do have one more question. Do I need to step up to ask?
No, you're okay. Once all this has been put together, it will come back from the planner to the next council meeting for council to review it.
So decided at the next council meeting?
And not necessarily, Mr. Cossey, would you like to get the
It's,
process?
with all the information that we have from the referral agencies, the public hearing minutes, and the public notification minutes, I'm anticipating bringing everything back to council in the September meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there's nobody else have any comments from the floor?
I have one.
Hearing.
comment. I have one comment.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna read, yes, ma'am.
There is some concern about the building and the proximity to the sidewalk and whatever. Where the Glencoe Motel stands presently on Cedar Avenue, this building, the new building, will be set further into the property by about 4 or 5 feet. So if you have a visual picture of the south side of our building, which is a big flat wall, imagine it set further into the property by 4 or 5 feet.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hearing none else from the floor, the public hearing for zoning amendment bylaw number 1194/2023 is hereby closed. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.